5, 6, 7, 8. Blame Canada! Blame Canada! It seems that everything's gone wrong since they abducted Justin Long. Blame Canada! Blame Canada! He probably deserved it anyway. Oh. So that was way better than the movie. Oh, God. Yeah. Has 30 seconds passed yet, can I swear?
Probably not yet.
Oh, boy, this movie. Okay.
We just got out of Tusk.
We just got out of Kevin Smith's Tusk. Screw it. What the fuck did I just watch? I am so just... I am in a weird place, like, mentally and emotionally right now. Like, I don't know what to feel about
this, for a lack of better terms, was probably one of the more original movies this year, to say the least. If not the most bizarre. Wow.
Fuck, what the...
This was basically a self-aware version of Human Centipede. And it shows, for better or worse. Like,
I tolerated Human Centipede better. That's kind of weird. Oh. I'm really glad I didn't eat before I went to this thing.
Yeah. Well, aside from the gummy bears.
Oh, the gummy bears. I kind of regretted that, too, towards the end of the movie. Because, oh, fuck. Okay. So, for those who don't know what this movie is, I wouldn't blame you, didn't have a great advertising campaign. But, basically, it's about this douchebag.
Yeah, Justin Long, who plays a podcaster named Wallace, who is...
Wallace, foreshadowing.
Yeah. He is the head of the quote-unquote Not C Party, a podcast, which is mistaken quite a bit, and for good reason.
As the Nazi Party, yeah. And clearly that was intentional, because they're just two douchebag basically teenagers, like early 20s-something douchebags.
It's run by his friend and co-anchor, who Haley Joel Osment, who decided to make a return after a 10-year hiatus.
I don't fucking know. Yeah. Weird movie to come back to, though. I will say that, like, oh yeah, read the script. This is totally my thing. Yeah, let's do it. Sure. He probably just owed Kevin Smith a favor.
I think he just needed work.
Clearly, if you got 10 years, you still have a bit of a reputation. You could probably do better than this.
Yeah. So anyway, what happens is they're reviewing this video of a guy that, not unlike the lightsaber kid, is kind of flinging a sword around, except this guy cuts his leg off with it. And so... And
right off the bat, I had a problem with this movie.
Yeah.
Because, I guess, we were talking about, by the way, we were the only fuckers in this theater when we saw this.
Yeah!
Which also means we'd be loud as obnoxious we want, and we were. We were making jokes the whole fucking thing, but we actually skipped over huge chunks of dialogue, because
it was okay.
We didn't miss a damn thing.
As far as we know. No. But anyway, so he goes up to Canada to go see this kid, and it turns out that the kid, basically racked with embarrassment, kills himself.
Okay, here's my first issue with this movie, is the fact that this video, apparently, of him chopping his own leg off, went fucking viral, and it's treated as like comedy things, like, no.
Yeah.
It's like, people are stupid, and a lot of viral videos are incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
No one would applaud this shit. Oh, don't give me that look. No one would. It's like, it shows, like, the open leg wound and everything. I mean, you see videos of, like, people laying firecrackers on their crotch, but you assume they're fine afterwards. This is a place where you cannot make that assumption. Clearly, he had to go to the hospital.
Clearly, you have not watched Tosh.0 then.
Fair enough.
Yeah, where they show people who basically, like, they'll have bones popping out of their bodies and people laugh their heads off at it.
Well, the people are stupid.
Yeah.
But either way...
Like, case in point, it's like, that's why I found this a bit more... Like, that's why I kind of sadly found this more credible, because it's just, oh, God.
Even then, this is still way worse.
Yeah. And admittedly, though, it's like, you also hear how, like, these other crimes somehow go viral as well. Like, even though some people will be douchebags and laugh at other people, maybe not so much, like, finding it funny. Like, we don't know how many of those 30 million people actually were, but,
Apparently enough
Yeah.
people think it's funny because they guys were laughing their heads off. No one thought these people were funnier than they did.
Yeah.
With Justin Long, it's Justin Long, right?
Yeah, Justin Long.
Justin Long and his buddy just think they're both so hilarious. Ha ha ha! You made a dick joke. As I've made perfectly clear, I'm not a big fan of dick jokes. Except maybe like 21 Jump Street's the only example I can think of where I thought, okay, those are actually kind of funny. But anyway, so he goes off to Canada to try to find this person. They make enough Canada stereotype jokes to fill the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And but in the meantime, it turns out the kid, like I said, kid commits suicide. It's like, crap, what do I do now? So where does he go to? The local hole-in-the-wall men's restroom, of course, to find a handwritten letter from...
Well, it wasn't... Yeah, handwritten, but then Xerox with the little number things on the bottom.
Fair enough. Either way, so by a man named Howard Howe, who is apparently looking for people to spend night in his cottage to share his stories about his life and all that stuff. And the guy goes, hey, that should be fun. So, with a clear sign that, hey, that maybe this is a bad idea, he goes up to a place called Bifrost. For a place called Pippy Hill. I mentioned this because it's an important little detail for later, but the biggest fucking plot holes in this movie.
Yeah.
And by the way, he's very aware of both. He writes down the address. Okay, again, pointing that out.
Yeah.
So he goes up there, and guess what? It's a trap! And... Don't walk into the car?
No.
Okay. But anyway, so it turns out it's a trap, and the old man, played by Michael Parks, who give the guy credit. Given the material in this movie, he really does a fucking good job.
Yeah, like, he was this guy, I was just like, I know it's all bullshit, but I'm so thoroughly entertained and invested.
Like, he plays a pretty straight face. Like, I'm gonna talk shit about love in this movie, but I will give him full credit. Like, he made the best you possibly could have made out of this. Because, like, he does play a straight face, and he does it very, very well. So, it turns out he starts telling a story of how he was shipwrecked and found refuge with a walrus he named Mr. Tusk after a janitor he respected and trusted when the old school days. And they don't then somehow he got rescued and he came back to humanity, but he says he always missed that walrus, always wishing he can go back. Shortly after, that's when the red flags should start popping up right about there. And Justin Long gets drugged, knocked out, and he wakes up when one of his legs are gone. And it turns out, after some dancing around the topic, the Psycho finally admits he's going to turn him into a walrus who's in a walrus suit. Which is basically like a really sadistic version of the Silence of the Lambs suit, basically.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's what happens. Justin Long gets turned into a walrus made out of human skin. It's both parts incredibly disturbing and really cheesy.
That's kind of an interesting film theory. The idea, it's like, sometimes by going fully realistic, you kind of kill the effect where, like, having something kind of, like, not fully real, there's a certain nightmarish quality to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of what happened to the suit. Like, there's something about it, just like...
I mean, I like the fact that it was actually, you know, practical effects. I like that part, but at the same time, it's like, the design of it is just... A, it's hard to take a human mutated walrus seriously, and B, it's just like fucking disgusting.
Yeah, that's what... That kind of basically just describes this movie in general. Like, it's...
I guess so.
It's meant, like, it's... At times, like, it's not meant to be taken seriously. At other times, like, there's something about it that's very unsettling.
I think it's supposed to be unsettling. It's trying to have, like, it's trying to be a horror movie and a comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, I don't think it works. I don't think it meshes well. I think the elements, like, I don't think the jokes are funny enough to really call it a comedy. I don't think the horror is gruesome. Maybe if you just want to be a full-on horror movie, it works fine. But again, it's like, it wants to have its cake and eat it too, because of course Kevin Smith started out as a comedic writer and stand-up. But to be honest, I've never really found Kevin Smith that funny. But mostly because a lot of it involves a lot of the main problems of this movie here, and admittedly something I'm guilty of as well, is he just stalls so much. There is so much filler, especially towards the last act, which we'll get to, because that's where the bulk of the problems are. But it's just, oh my god.
Yeah, like, we were both in agreement, like, I enjoyed the first 2/3, him not so much, but when we got a third act, just like...
It was like, wrap it up, Kevin Smith. And it's like, I don't know if it was his writing or just an improv actor, like he's held the camera on for too fucking long.
No, I'd say that was Kevin Smith. Probably. That's kind of how he operates.
It's like he wants to be Tarantino, but he doesn't quite have the wit and charm for it.
Yeah.
But, because, you know, Tarantino can make great small talk and great stalling because the dialogue's so freaking interesting. But, Here, not so much.
Yeah.
But basically, while he's turning Justin Long into this walrus, he's telling his whole disturbing life story about his parents were killed before his eyes and all that stuff. And I came to the disturbing realization, this whole movie is... I'm going to roll the windows up for this. There you go. Okay, this whole movie is an alternate universe Batman, where instead of Batman seeing a bat, he finds a walrus.
And instead of becoming a heroic vigilante, he becomes a serial killer.
And we were both joking around the theater, like, we would have loved it if, like, Batman comes up and is like, what the hell are you?
I'm the walrus! Cuckoo-ca-choo!
That would make the Penguin as a villain much more relevant, wouldn't it? Professor Pig! That's an actual Batman villain, by the way.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I feel relatively proud about that joke, though. I was just like... and when we thought about it, it's like, how did they not make a Beatles reference throughout this whole thing?
They somehow, avoided the temptation. So, so yeah, he turns into a walrus fairly early on in the movie, like, through the halfway point, he turns into a walrus. So, at that point, Justin Long's basically done acting.
Yeah.
At that point, he just makes... Durr, 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 me. That's the bad guy. Me.
Oh, that was the one. Oh, that was the one where there was that comment you liked.
Yeah. Infinite cock stew.
Which reminds me, what was the statement that we laughed at? Oh, God, what was the statement we laughed at? It was the thing that French cop made. It was like...
It's like, it's like fuck to be bothered or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. Crap. I wish I heard because it was actually pretty funny. But, anyway, so yeah, at that point, the Michael Park is basically just trained to be a walrus in this really fucked up little playpen he's invented for him, and then at that point, that like there was just a lot of shots where Justin Long just growling and flopping around. And it's like is that supposed to be funny? Because
no, at that point it was meant to be disturbing for the most part,
and it succeeded for the most part.
Yeah.
But it just was like I just feel grossed out. It's like one of those things. I'm not finding it entertaining. I'm not finding it interesting. I'm just like, this is just gross. Why am I watching this? And that's kind of the feeling. That's kind of the main problem I had with this. Like, at no point did I feel like I was really entertained or even really interested. Because like, Justin Long's character is a douchebag right from the get-go. I get, like he said, it's supposed to be like a karma movie. But
yeah, because I mean, it's kind of like the movie's poking the whole, podcaster or like some of the podcaster culture, the idea of like these people that just, or even the internet culture in general, the idea of people like loving other people's suffering, but then he's kind of subjected to it, in which, what's the thing it starts off with? He loses his leg, much like the kid. And suddenly...
Yeah, but at the same time, it's also not very subtle about it either.
Yeah.
It's like walrus subtle. It's like Ang Lee's Hulk, Hulk sensitive.
Yeah. But it's like, it didn't fully succeed, but I like the direction it was going for, and like, it was an interesting look things, like the idea of like, almost like what he's going through, we're kind of mirroring, because like, he's laughing at this whole thing, but it's like when he's actually put through, it's like, the viewer is absolutely disgusted with what we're actually seeing, like when you're actually put through, because like, even though like he was a douchebag, this was like, I was like, oh god, I didn't want to see him suffer like this.
No,
like that's kind of the interesting
thing. That's kind of the problem, though. It's like, I mean, I get what you're saying, I do. At the same time, though, I'm not sure I necessarily agree with the fact that it's a gross in the way the movie intended. It's like, this is kind of just gore porn. I mean, that's kind of what it is. Like, it's not like, oh, I don't want to see him suffer or anything. The guy's like, this is just gross. And like, I don't, like, the way you're describing it means there's some kind of personal resonance with the character, which I did not have.
Yeah, I'm not saying I did, but it's like, there's something about it just like, like I said, like maybe... Like, I'm just saying that's kind of the direction I was going for. Like, I'm not saying I fully like the character, but there's something about it that's just like...
I mean, there's a lot of nope in there as far as the eye can see, but at the same time, it's like... At no point did, like, the disgusting factor have anything really to do with what was happening to the character. It's more just the visuals of it. It's just like, okay, this is just gross. I don't want to see this. Like, this is why am I still here watching? It's like the same issue with, like, the first Human Centipede, too, where it's like, after a certain point, it's like... Oddly enough, Human Centipede did this better. Because at least then they develop the characters. Okay, I'm using the term "develop" loosely here.
Yeah.
But even then, there's a bit more of a connection to the characters here. Here's like, okay, this is just gross. I hate this guy. Why am I still watching this? Because I have no one to root for.
Yeah.
I have no one to hope for. Like, his best friend and his girlfriend go after him after they realize he's missing. But I'm not really rooting for them either, because I don't really like them either. So I don't have anyone to root for in this movie.
Yeah.
So, like, why? What's the purpose of continuing to watch this? Just see what they're going to do with the walrus. That's pretty much the only reason you're doing it. And then even then, it just stalls with the French detective guy. Oh, I forgot to mention the biggest fucking plot hole in this movie. Okay, so shortly after he realizes that something's gone, Justin Long realizes something is amiss. He finds his phone. Surprisingly,
yeah.
Like the villain didn't destroy it before.
Yeah.
And that was plot hole A. Plot hole B is he opens up, finds out it's his girlfriend who's texting him because she apparently. It's not important. Basically, he was cheating on her, but she was cheating on him with his best friend. Blah blah blah. So he quickly calls her. Tells her, like, hey, I'm abducted. There's this crazy guy wants to turn me into animals. Send help. Call the police. Come find me. At no point does he say where he is.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, we know for a fact. It said, I'm going to the Bifrost.
Yeah.
It's called Pippi Hill. It's called Pippi Hill. I wrote down the address.
Okay, in all fairness, the address thing, though, some people won't take to it all the way.
Fair enough. Like, the address is the one I'm willing to let go. But it's like, you saw a big old sign at the gate that said Pippi Hill. At this point, like, the drugs he's on must have worn off, because he was functioning pretty fine.
Yeah.
So, at the same time, it's like, at no point can you detail any of this. And he doesn't actually call the cops.
Yeah. Admittedly, that's other problem number 2. What's the number for the police in Canada? Is it also 911 there? Because, admittedly, in other places, the numbers are different.
Fair enough. However, you think it's just being the same, it's like calling an operator and it's like, get me the police. I'm assuming that's still 0.
Actually, from what I heard, in some places it's not 0, but that would have been a good thing to start with.
I was like, that would have been my first guess, I think, would have been something. Or you have internet. Google it. He's clearly got the cell phone signal. He's calling to people in fucking America. So
he may have Sprint.
Don't defend this movie. Why are you defending? You were totally on my side on this like a couple hours ago.
I'm just saying, I have Sprint, and I understand what it's like to be able to call someone but not have internet service. It sucks.
Like, still call people. Try 911.
Yeah.
Like, try random number 611.
Yeah.
I don't care. Just do something.
It was 912 all along. Why didn't I think of that? But I do agree, though. It's like, it made sense to call one of the friends and then try calling local law, or at least attempting to find out the number.
Or at least give him like a general location. He says, I'm 2 hours from so-and-so. That can mean a million different things.
No, he did say, yeah. Well, he said 2 hours north. So, well, yeah, that doesn't help much.
No, it doesn't, because that can mean a thousand different things.
Yeah. Are we talking about northeast, north-northeast, north-northwest, northwest, west-northwest?
Just could have said, hey, I'm at this place called Bifrost. It's 2 hours from this place. Come find me, please.
Yeah.
That would have solved so many of your problems right away.
Yeah.
Right away would have solved every problem in this movie. So really, like, there's no excuse to why he ends up being trapped for as long as he is.
Yeah.
And don't even give me... Okay. So... I'm ramping up to rage mode here. I can feel it. It's burning in my heart. And this is like the smile I get before I go like insane when it comes to these movie rants. I can... Ugh, God. Okay, so... After he gets turned into a walrus, Michael Park starts doing some crazy shit. And then we cut to this French detective. Oh, like, after digging around Canada for a while... They find a French detective. He's the only one apparently knows about the serial killer. I guess this is an homage to the silly French detectives that were in Human Centipede.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're wondering why I've actually seen Human Centipede, a woman I briefly dated made me watch it because she was a horror fan. We did not date long after that. But I have no shame in admitting this. She's probably not watching this anyway. So... God, fuck. Okay. So, and then, like we were saying... I don't know if it was just an improv actor or just Kevin Smith did not know when to stop writing.
No, it's Kevin Smith. I can guarantee you that.
But oh my God, his scene goes on forever and ever and ever, and he does not shut up with this. annoying, very not funny accent.
Yeah.
Telling a story that could have easily been summed up in 5-7 minutes max.
Oh. Yeah, I'd say, no, 7 would be pushing it. 5...
Like I said, max,
yeah.
7 minutes. You would have needed to describe the same information. It takes 15 minutes to do.
Yeah.
Because literally, like, he starts talking about this, he's stalling, then he says, I might have met the murderer once. And then he goes to do an extended flashback sequence of him meeting the serial killer, accomplishing nothing. This tells me nothing about anything, except that this serial killer...
He was a damn good actor.
Yeah, that's about it. And even then, the red flag for I'm a serial killer really was when in his, like, a hick accent, the bad guy goes, I think humans are the real animals. It's like, that's the one. That's the guy. Arrest him immediately.
Yeah.
That's when you turn and go, would you mind if I take a look around? Just one look around. That's all I need. But no. And then when he comes back to the reality, he stretches out for another 5 minutes or so until finally the conclusion they come to is, oh, let's go find him.
Yeah. Although we were kind of varying on degrees of enjoyment levels in the first 2/3, we both agreed that the third act, it just...
But, like, that's when I started yelling at the screen. That was from the...
But...
like, jokes aside, that's when I started yelling at the fucking screen.
Yeah. And then the movie transitioned to the most ridiculous moment of the movie.
This movie's already ridiculous enough, but here it just, like, jumps the shark. And all of a sudden I got that community episode stuck in my head. It's like, there was an episode of Happy Days where he actually jumped a shark, and it was the best one. I don't know if it was Happy Days, but you know.
It was Happy Days.
Okay, it was Happy Days. I got it right.
Frickin' Henry Winkler.
But anyway.
Because basically they reveal, like, the true nature of what's going on is basically the guy was trying to build this walrus so he could actually have a quote-unquote fair fight with it, because basically it's revealed in the third act that the walrus had saved him. He had actually killed him and eaten him for sustenance right before rescue came, and he was basically just, that kind of made him snap.
Yeah, apparently.
And that's pretty much where he gets that view of, like, how terrible people are, which is, I will say, mildly poetic. Not well done.
Really? We're calling this poetic now?
Poetry isn't always good. Just saying.
Yeah, I've read your diary.
I'm sorry I plagiarized from you.
Alright, I'm just proud of you. Alright.
But,
oh, I do enjoy your game of wits. Anywho.
So wait, what happens is...
So, okay, no, hold on. I gotta build this up. Because this is just absurd what happens here. So, we don't find this out until later. Before then, there's a part where first he makes the walrus swim, and then he proceeds to dance with the walrus in the water, naked, by the way.
Oh.
After which point he says, I need to harden you, no pun intended, and just shoves the walrus's head under the water for some reason, I don't know. And then we cut back to more annoying French guy scenes.
Yeah.
Where they finally figure out where he is.
And thankfully, this extended sequence actually had a point.
Even then, it was still stalling.
Yeah, but it's like one thing you're like, okay, I'll give you credit as long as that was, there was a point to it, and then you actually did some smart things, so that kind of restored my faith in you a bit.
A little bit. A bit, being the key phrase there. But anyway, so, and then we cut back to Justin Long as the walrus, and we hear Michael Park. And by the way, this movie loves monologues. Yeah. And he's giving this speech about the walrus giving a fair fight, and we turn to Michael Park, who is also in a walrus suit. Not quite as grotesque as Justin Long, but he's fully in his character.
And then they just start, like, flopping around.
And then it says, you need to fight me. And then they just awkwardly flop against each other. And that's a fight scene, apparently. That's our big climax. That was the part I literally, like, I've never done this movie so far. That was the part where, like, stuff was like, you know, I'm fucking done. I'm done with this movie. I can't take this anymore. I still stayed through the rest of it. God help me. But I was like, I was this close to walking out.
And then I reminded him that I stayed through Scary Movie 5.
I stayed through Grown Ups 2 and Smurfs 2 in the same year. You don't think I have a good tolerance at this point? This one movie was the first one I was like, I can't take this anymore. Yeah. What does that say about what I was going through at that time?
I'd say that was less about crap and more just about what the hell is going on.
It's like, dude, I'm out. I'm done. So, and then it gets even weirder, because then he proceeds to, like, burst out of the Michael Parks to burst out of the walrus suit like he's the frickin' Hulk or something.
Well, admittedly, he's probably used some cheap stitching, so I don't know.
Plus,
he actually had full access to his limbs, unlike Justin Long, who lost both his legs and turned to the flaily, the T-Rex thing.
Crucified T-Rex, is what they call it. So, yeah, and then of course Justin Long finally snaps and kills the bastard.
Yeah.
Roars some more. They find him. They tease that they should shoot him. Why didn't he just shoot him? Like, the detective should have totally shot him. They're like, that's just inhumane.
Well, as he said, he's not paid enough to shoot the wild beasts.
Because
as he said...
Don't justify that scene.
I was being sarcastic.
I don't know.
You're the king of sarcasm here. Remember, you're Sergeant Sarcasm, damn it.
No, I'm Captain... All right, Captain Obvious. All right. And... Anywho. So, it flash forwards a year later, and for reasons I cannot fathom. I can't... Did you drop your phone?
Yeah, I got it. And this part we were both just like, wait, like this, what?
What? So, a flash forward a year later, the girlfriend and the best friend walk to an exotic animal penitentiary of some kind.
A habitat.
Where Justin Long is now a walrus in a really shitty walrus exhibit. You want to take this one? Because I got...
There's nothing to say other than they didn't even attempt to... Did they attempt to fix him up, or was he just so far gone, it's like, you know what? Let him think he's a walrus?
It's like, I don't know, maybe go to a doctor, help me go to a mental institution, I don't do something, anything. But put him in a zoo. That's bound to freaking help him.
And as I said, some people argue that this is the whole, just desserts thing, which, the animal he's become thing about, even are just like...
That's still stupid. That's still really stupid.
Yeah.
And that's just bashing you over the head with the whole, this is poetic, this means something.
Yeah, at that point it's just like, okay, now you've... Yeah.
It did it way before then.
Well, there's as I said, for me, I found the stupid walrus fight, funny, because, that was clear what they were going for. It was so awkward, but, yeah, it's just...
Oh, God. It's like, where are the doctors? You have there's gotta be something you can do. Not just, that first thought, lock him in a walrus pen. Yeah, that's the other solution. Yeah. That's like Maze Runner. It's like, yeah, we got a psychological, neurological thing here. What's the solution? Maze. Fucking maze. Why? No, fucking maze. We're gonna do fucking maze. It's like, who was the doctor? Look at this, like, oh my God. It's like, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of South Park when they dress Butter up as a puppy.
Yes.
when Butters gets a ninja star in his eye, so they disguise him as like a dog, so they can go to a veterinarian's office. And they're like, oh my God, who would do this to a dog? Is that what happened here? Is that why he's in a fucking zoo? They took him to the hospital, like, oh my God, who would do this to a poor walrus? I mean, granted, the doctor was a shit bricks when he saw it, but at the same time...
He probably lost his sanity upon seeing it and couldn't practice medicine.
And he goes, no, zoo for you, zoo for you. You can join Carrie, got turned to Bunny Rabbit. His name is Bugs now. You just go with it. This movie's asking me to go with it, so I'm gonna assume this isn't the first time this has happened. If this first solution is fucking zoo.
Yeah.
Abandoned zoo, too. There was no one there.
Yeah.
I imagine these be at least a circus attraction. Come see the human walrus. Come see the human walrus.
Like, this movie, understood it was ridiculous.
That does not help it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but even then, the ending was just, that was ridiculous, even for the fucking movie.
Even by his standards, I was like, this is really just dumb. Like, this is really dumb.
Yeah.
It makes zero sense. There's no reason this should be the case.
Yeah.
Like, this is just lazy. It's like, what's that NC joke? Ask me what it means, ask me what it means.
Huh?
From the,
Oh, the Tarzan Singh thing?
Yeah, the Tarzan thing, yeah.
Look at me, I'm deep!
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah.
It's like,
I will admit that. It definitely felt like that.
Like, I'm not a big Kevin Hart fan.
Smith.
Like, Smith.
I'm sure you're not a Kevin Hart fan either.
Actually, Kevin Hart's stand-up is pretty funny, actually. I'm okay, totally okay with that.
I meant his movies.
His movies suck. Yeah, but his stand-up's okay. I'm okay with Kevin Hart. See, I never even particularly cared for Kevin Smith's stand-up either, to be honest. And it's like, I don't know. I think he kind of gets more credit than he kind of deserves, to be honest. Like, I mean, he's earned a lot of nerd cred. I like the Superman stand-up routine as much as the next guy, but...
Yeah, do you know, I'm pretty sure, like, also, this felt like kind of a commentary against himself as well, like, when you think about it. Like, the personality, the fact, podcasting is what he mostly does, the Superman stand-up.
Oh, yeah, they do, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. It just, to me, it's like, if the satire was there...
It got overshadowed.
To put it lightly. But it's just, I don't know. To me, this movie's like this movie kind of just felt like a waste of my time, to be honest. I guess it's one of those either you'll like it or you won't movies. I think it's just kind of...
I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I enjoyed aspects of it, particularly, like, we both agreed Michael Park was, like, the best.
Oh, yeah, he made, like, there's no other actor I could think of who could have pulled this off as well as he did. Maybe Daniel Day-Lewis, but he would have actually made a walrus suit. So that's probably best he did not get that part.
Yeah. Like I said, first couple acts, you might like it, but third act, it's when the movie kind of overstays its welcome.
I guess, and for me, it took shorter than that, but just, I don't know. For me, it's just, the satire isn't good enough, the jokes aren't good enough. Yeah. The story in general is not good enough to justify full price for me.
Because, what was it? This whole thing was actually based on, like, one of Kevin Smith's podcasts where they were kind of joking about this, like, weird thing. Just like, okay, let's make a movie out of it.
Well, sometimes those things just stay jokes.
Yeah.
Like our Captain Obvious, Sergeant Sarcasm thing. It's a joke. I would make a fake trailer about it, but I would never make it a full-length thing.
Yeah.
Some jokes should just stay jokes, people.
Yeah. On the bright side, though, this movie did, despite being a financial failure, is apparently resulting in Clerks 3 finally getting financing, so I can't complain.
Maybe they'll be better. I don't know. I don't really trust Kevin Smith's writing anymore. I'm sure it's kind of like the Frank Miller effect. I'm sure at one point he was a very good writer, but nowadays, like, he's just kind of slipping more and more into just shit. Like, cop out. Like, cop out.
Okay, that one he didn't actually write, but
he still directed it. It's the same thing. It's like, it's not what, like, I never saw it, but I didn't. The trailers told me everything I need to know about that one. To be fair, I've been wrong on that before. 22 Jump Street, but apparently, based on what the reviews I read,
you're pretty accurate on that one.
Pretty accurate. So, I don't know. It seems like he's one of those directed writers that's kind of losing his edge. So,
yeah, this
is not helping. Maybe Clerks 3 will be returned to form. I have no clue.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Hoping.
We're seeing time, I guess. So, you want to talk about trailers then? I guess.
Sure.
Because I think I've said my piece.
Yeah.
So there it is. Forgot I put out here to charge. Oh, hello, random person. Why are you bothering me? Okay, so we got... See, I'm stalling too. So we got new trailer. These are all new trailers I've not seen before, so that was refreshing. We got a trailer for Annabelle, which comes out this week. Yeah, I'm not stoked about it either.
I was a fan of The Conjuring. I had my doubts about it, but actually I enjoyed it. It wasn't the best horror movie, but I actually, as I said, I enjoyed it, which I normally don't when it comes to horror movies.
Yeah, most horror movies on average pretty much suck.
Yeah.
If this sucks, Ouija's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, it's just... What was the moment where you're just like laughing? It's like when the girl...
It's like the very end of the trailer.
Yeah, where this little girl runs to the door, all of a sudden turns into a full adult woman just like running at the main character.
Okay, let me set the scene for this one. So the scene start like this part is like when shit starts to go down, they realize the doll's possessed, and why they don't immediately smash it, I don't know. I'm hoping that will be explained in the movie. There's a part with like a little girl in the hallway. It's like, what are you doing? And then she like does this awkward run towards the door. The door closes slightly, and then just flies open as a full-grown woman just goes, yeah, like chokes her. If that scene isn't parodied in the new SpongeBob movie, Hollywood has failed me again. Because I can just imagine it and go, Mommy, I'm ready! Choke. But I don't know, it looks dumb. It looks pretty dumb. But
Yeah.
I have one friend who wants to see it, so maybe I don't know. Then we got Horns, which is the Daniel Radcliffe movie, who's Daniel Radcliffe doing an American accent. That really threw me through a loop for the first couple of minutes there. I was like, what, is that voice Daniel Radcliffe's? Really?
Yep.
I can't tell if it's a good accent or not, because of course you just see him as Harry Potter, so it just sounds really weird. But despite the mad reviews I've heard about it, it looked pretty interesting.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of mixed things on it, but like, admittedly, that also I'd be wary because the director who, the only thing I liked of his was Piranha 3D.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
And then like, what was the other ones he did? High Tension, which had the stupidest nonsensical plot twist ever. Hills Have Eyes, which, if you want to talk about torture porn.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. But I don't know.
That was a grimy movie.
And I was like, I will say this: Daniel Radcliffe has been progressively doing better as an actor since Harry Potter. I mean, the woman in Black sucked. I'll be the first to say it. He wasn't very good in it either. But I heard he was good in What If. That's a movie I wanted to see, but I missed out on. And so it's like he's getting up there.
Yeah.
So I kind of just want to see how he does, because I'm kind of curious. And last one, this one looks really fucking good. Nightcrawler.
Woo!
Yeah, that one looks really good. Like, we got trailer for this before. This was a new trailer. But, like, this one makes, like, so much, like, so very, very interesting.
Yeah.
And that's why it's getting great reviews right now. Like, it's one of the winners at the festival recently, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm pretty excited about that one. That's going to be cool. Jake Gyllenhaal just basically being Patrick Bateman from American Psycho.
Yeah. Where he's this guy that's like looking for the big break to get into news, so he goes around like trying to find crime scenes as well as doing some mild manipulations, to put it lightly.
Yeah.
To try and make it more interesting or to find a way to jazz it up. And I guess so the whole story is that I guess he witnesses a murder that happens, and so he's...
Yeah, like he gets on camera.
Like basically he wants to be the one to find the guy, so he's purposely withholding certain information so he can be the guy that makes the big break.
Yeah, so I guess that's what they're going with. I mean, like, it's been a while since I've seen Jake Gyllenhaal, something that I've really liked him in.
Yeah.
Because I think the last movie I saw Jake Gyllenhaal in was Prince of Persia.
Last thing I saw him in was Source Code.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
Check it out if you can.
I think I have it on. I think my parents have it on DVD somewhere. I'll just steal it. But yeah, I don't think I've seen anything since Prince of Persia. So
yeah,
I'm sure he seems like a fine, good actor. So it'll be refreshing to see him actually be able to flex those muscles, acting muscles.
Yeah.
No, he did a lot of that. He did a lot of flexing actual muscles in Prince of Persia. That's basically why I got the role. But, so yeah, you got anything left? You got anything to say?
Not really. I think we made it clear. It's like this is just a very bizarre movie. You'll take to it differently depending on like the way you like these things. Like, I enjoyed it more than Michael here, but admittedly, as we said, it definitely overstays its welcome and just kind of gets a bit overly bizarre in the end.
Like, I don't know, even if you're like a hardcore Kevin Smith fan, I'm not sure I can recommend this. It's one of those things, like, if you're really curious about it, even then I can't justify paying full price.
Which we didn't.
No, we didn't. Thank God it's doing ID. But it's like, if you have to see it, Redbox it, or wait for it to inevitably pop up on Netflix.
Or see the Super Matinee.
Oh yeah, or that too. Even then, Redbox is cheaper.
True.
So yeah, I guess that about wraps it up. So we will be back later this week, because I got, what else I got this week? What else is coming out this week? Or came out?
You're seeing Equalizer.
Equalizer, yep, that's tomorrow. And one more. Oh, Box Trolls. That was it, Box Trolls. So, yeah. See you all later.